Hey, Centerpoint. This summer was unbelievable in the life of our church. Maybe you already know this, specifically July, August. And if you're receiving this video, which I try to do once a month, it's because you financially support creating an alternative to church as usual for all people in some way, whether you give once in a while or give consistently. But that financial generosity has a return on investment, whether you know it or not. Some of you, you get a front row seat because it's so personal to you. Maybe it's impacted your family, but others of us, we maybe never know the stories. Here's a couple highlights. Over the last several weeks, we're averaging over 100 students and CC students, with about 50% of them with no church background. That's what we get to be a part of, invest in financially. Many of you know we did the YMCA takeover about 2 weeks ago. Hundreds of people attended, and many got to connect to new friends. In fact, I was able to talk to several people who was their first step to come to something outside of Sunday. We're also launching a bunch of new groups for the fall. We want everybody to be in a community group. And then maybe many of you were here for our Sunday Fun Day Back to School edition, largest attendance since pre-COVID. And then we followed that up with our largest attendance again, overflow. Both services was full on Sunday. We're adding chairs to one service every week as people continue to invite people to come sit with them. And so many people are finding a home, a place where they can belong before they believe. And you're doing that. You get to be a part of that. And I just don't want you to miss that. And it's not nameless, faceless people. It's people who are really being impacted. People like Brianna, who was just baptized. She thanked her friend Michelle for inviting her to Centerpoint and kind of leading her back to Jesus. And I love what she says. And here's a quote from her. She said, "I'm so thankful for Centerpoint and a small group of leaders for helping me understand how God can love me, even after all my sins and dysfunction and mistakes." And she said, I love this. I want to thank my kids that I volunteer for in CC Kids, who have given me an understanding of how good God is. And we are seeing so many people find a home for the first time. And you get to be a part of that. We get to be a part of that. And so I want to thank you for having a plan, if you do, to support your church that many of you love and is making a difference. And if you don't, I want to encourage you to create a plan, that you would consider creating a plan to support the vision of creating an alternative to church as usual for all people, to inspire them then to grow in their faith. Because God's doing that. We're seeing God move in an incredible way. All of those stories have happened because people had a plan to consistently invest in individuals that they may never meet, we may never meet, lives that are going to be changed that we may never know about. But the way that happens is because people pick a plan financially, they choose a percentage, and they make it a priority and give first. And I say it all the time, but my family does this. We have a plan via recurring giving on the CC app. We give first when we get paid, along with many others, and we never miss that money because it's an investment. So as our church continues to grow, and it is greater than maybe any other point in our history, and we see people grow, consistent generosity is more crucial than ever, because spontaneous generosity is great, but it is planned giving that helps us plan for the future. And right now, honestly, we're growing faster than our finances are keeping up, because we have so many people that we're reaching that are new to the church, and we want to be able to say to them, hey, we're going to foot the bill for you. You're welcomed here. We want you to find Jesus. And we have a bunch of other generous people like you and like me that we're going to invest and give to this. So I just want to encourage you, pick a plan, pick a percentage, whether that's 5 or for me, it's been 10, because that's just what I grew up with, and then give it first. And if you're in the sporadic giving stage, decide now that I'm going to be consistent, because we say this all the time. If you call Centerpoint Church home, you're a follower of Jesus. We are the church. The church isn't somebody else. There's not some, magic group of people. It's not the staff that does this. It's all of us together to say, we are the church. You are your church. You are our church, so let's do this together. This is maybe the greatest season in the life of our church, and we get to reach some people nobody else is reaching, but it requires all of us. So thank you for all of you who are doing that and are a part of that. All of you who are going to step in, I want to thank you in advance. And let's continue to plan for the rest of this fall to reach a bunch more people we haven't even met yet, but they're coming, and they need the hope and life that's only found in Jesus.